Hello, good evening, guys. You know, it dawned on me, honestly, and I've got to be perfectly honest. I really do. I have to be perfectly honest, and I am just going to pretty much speak on this topic. I don't want to sound like I'm bitter or something because I think that a lot of what is being said at this time is actually being said so that women and men, okay, because I think that bad lovers can come in both genders, okay, um, uh, 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 but mainly to women because you know you got to be careful. Now, we will look at so a lot of us social media, right? And the media period, especially in the times that we're living in right now. And you can't help these times. You can't. Hello, sis. How are you? The times that we are living in right now. Ooh, thank you, goddess. And it being social media being a huge driving factor for a lot of us. And, when you look in social media, I've seen a lot of relationships, people with kids, and it just seems great. It just, and you want that. It's normal for a person to want a family. Oh, Lena, bye bye. It's normal for a person to want a family. It's normal for somebody to want to start a family. It's what we live for. Okay. And I feel like, especially because you have to see what men are talking about, and especially men of your, how do I put this? Your ethnicity. Okay. And so this is probably, this is a discussion because I'm going to be honest with you. I have not just, black female clients, but black women clients, but white women, women of all races. So it really doesn't matter. But I do think that when it comes to black women, the pickings are slim. The options are narrow. And, some white women feel that way as well. But we look at these relationships and, people always put up the best front. They're not, unless they're very honest and they talk about the issues that they're having. But people always put up the best front when it comes to their relationships because, they figure people want to see happiness. But I think that sometimes this can be almost like a fantasy that doesn't exist, right? And I think that during certain times or even certain time frames, there is a energy that causes women especially to feel compelled to have to be in this relationship with this man that is supposed to protect you, that is supposed to enrich your life, that is supposed to, uh, you know, do everything for you and be the missing piece of your life. And I feel like this within itself, especially when you're talking about spirituality, especially when we are out here looking at spiritualists and witches and the occult, love spells and promises of love spells and things of that nature drives a lot of our business, which kind of irritates me a lot, which is why I don't focus on that. And the reason why I don't focus on that is because, if everybody is working on themselves, I like to assist people in their shadow work, whether or not they are a woman or a man. Okay. So, but in particular, women are under this constant pressure to get a man or have a man. And then when you get one, they come into your life and they bring a whole lot of baggage, and and the relationship is hard. You find yourself doing most of the work, and then you realize, hell, I could have stayed single. But as a woman, you're going to be judged for being single. People just let that fly out of their mouths. And I realize that people that do that, they're not happy. People that call themselves in relationships that are judging other people, in particular women. Okay, women that are judging other women, those women are not actually happy in those relationships, and in fact, those relationships are making them miserable. Okay. So it's and I don't understand everybody's obsession with what you're doing with your vajayjay. I still, for the life of me, I can't figure out why people are so uh concerned about what it is that you're doing. It's very weird. And so women will feel like they want that, especially when August hits, because a lot of people are thinking, oh my God, I want to pursue this relationship because I'm looking at the holidays and I don't want to be alone for the holidays, and I'm going to be unhappy because I'm alone, as if being single equals unhappy and miserable, but it actually doesn't. But I think that it's all about the hype. And then there's promises that are being made when you initially meet these men, but then you realize it's a bait and switch. They put on a sales pitch when in reality, you're going to be stuck with a lot of their baggage that they are not going to be willing to take accountability for. So I'm not here's what I want to say. I'm not saying to not want love or a relationship, but most people in this world are not looking for love or to love you. They are more so looking for you to validate them, which is very dangerous, because what that is the opposite of love, and love is a very powerful force. Love can move mountains. I'm one of those romantic people. But I think that when somebody, and I think that a lot of men are not, just throughout the years, just observing them, it's not about the love, it's about sex, or it's about who has the best body. Because a lot of the men are highly programmed by Instagram models and porn, and they don't even really know what a real woman's body looks like. So they're judging already, and they're looking at relationships as more so of a system and not what it should be. And so that's why when you get into it, women get into it for love, but a lot of the times men don't. And this can happen. The roles can be reversed, like I said. And I just think that during that time frame that you're being pressured to get into that relationship, I feel like more women should step back and say, what am I doing here? You're being put under this tremendous pressure to have a man, especially more so during this time. And your life is going to go downhill and you won't make it without this man. And that's why I got on Till Swan. That's why I had made that video about her. Because and you know what? These types of influencers are the ones that are given the upfront airplay. Their channels are not being blacklisted. They're getting millions of viewers, millions of views, and they're being financially backed up because they are selling a pipe dream. They are selling a lie to people. Because in reality, when you look at the real world, a lot of these men will come into a relationship with these women and they will oppress them. They will bring a bunch of baggage and pretty much drain the woman of everything that she has. And that's not the way it should be. So when you look at relationships, and then amongst other things, one of the reasons why when I look at a lot of men, you can tell they're possessed like it's this is one of the reasons why I really am a high priestess. I guess I'm not a high priestess of the church or Christianity, but it's in a sense to where I would rather choose celibacy, because when I look at these men, you can tell that they are possessed. They don't know who they are, and they are not aware. They're just functioning. They're filled with spirits that go totally against everything that women want. And for me, and most women, or at least half of the female population, we cannot just conform to that because it feels off. It feels wrong. It doesn't feel right in your spirit. It's like, wait a minute, what the hell am I doing? And I'm gonna tell you straight up and down that the only kind of spiritual work that is gonna work, which you can never tell because you don't, if you're meeting somebody new, you don't really know who they are. You don't really know if the person that you're talking to is some kind of freaking spirit fooling you, because you don't really know them. But the only kind of spiritual work that will actually help is asserting yourself, setting boundaries, but then also sometimes they need to be exorcised of these bad spirits. They need to be cleansed. And it's not just in social media. It's not. Social media shows the clear problem with a lot of men, especially black men. And I pick on black men because those have been the ones that I have primary. I've never been in a relationship with a man except for a black man. The relationship that I had with my father, that's who I can base that on. Okay. I can't base it on anything else, guys. I can't. Okay. So, but I can also base what I'm saying on observation, what I'm seeing women deal with. And there are a lot of women that will just conform to these men. Even men that you don't deal with on a personal basis. Harassment, stalking, street harassment, um, uh, you know, um, trying to make a couple that you will never meet feel that their penis is a priority, and then forcing it on you, absolutely forcing it on you, having nothing to offer you. And we're not even talking about money, because most of us women will start out with our own money. So it's not about money. Okay. It's really about the fact that, yeah, you know, here's the thing. If it was what they are claiming that it isn't, and I think that it's not about not being in a relationship, but it's about avoiding a relationship with the wrong person. Okay. Because the wrong person is where you're going to have your issues. And we can sit here and say, oh, well, I did it for love and I loved him and I loved him unconditionally. But then you find out that you be loving somebody that has absolutely no feelings or care for you in the world, and they're unstable. And yeah, I am a high priestess. A lot of these men, you can get them to get back to their normal self by doing a soul retrieval. I personally refuse to be with a man that is too high maintenance spiritually. If I got to constantly work on a man, I'm going to walk away from you, because you need to be constantly working on yourself. At that moment when that man is spazzing out, he's making a choice in his mind to either be abusive or be disrespectful or be a deceptive person. He's making that choice still. So you can pull him back. Who has time for that? What you find out is that it's just a huge waste of time. And then you find out that this man that you've given either 6 months of your time to, a year of your time to, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, that he's done nothing but stolen your timeline. And that is why I feel that women should wait for the right person, because and so many people are not looking for the right person. They're looking for Mr. Right now. And then especially where we live in a world where men are looking at, they don't look at things through just a normal and healthy minded person. And you got to look for the signs in him, especially if he's he's looking at you as if, oh, you're 35 or 36, you're old. That's a sign of something. 35 or 36 is not old. If you're 35 or 36 or even 46, you still have your whole life ahead of you. It's a sad shame how these men will, and I don't want to say they come into your life and mess you up. I mean, unfortunately, like I said, I was talking about the issues with my landlord earlier, and guess what? It's a man. It's a man. I have no doubt in my mind that if I were a male tenant, he would have fixed all of these issues a long time ago, but he feels like he doesn't have to because I'm a woman. So, but we're talking about relationships because I'm not in a relation. I'm in a business relationship with the landlord, but I'm not in a love or sex relationship with the landlord. But, it's so sad how men make a choice every single day to drop the ball, and women are usually affected by it. And so looking out in the world at how women are mistreated, discriminated, women have to ask themselves, well, why would I want one of them in my home, this strange man that I don't know? Why would I want him in my bed? Why would I want to share my sexual energy with a man that's like that? And I'm not saying to not do it. That's why it's a lot of women out here, they take and take and take as much as they can before a man can take them. And I respect those women because they already know what's going on. They already know a user and an abuser as soon as he walks up to the door. I'm not saying to not want a relationship. I'm saying to wait for the right person. That's what I'm saying. Because he's there. And a lot of these men, you find out they just a waste of time. And then here's another kicker. Even the ones that because I done did a lot of readings for women. Is this man right for me? No, no, run. Next thing you know, they're still involved with them. And you know why? Because more and more men, well, first of all, um, men are marked by the beast of that religion. So that automatically gives them an automatic dominion over the woman. Okay. If he's not talking about his spiritual beliefs, then that can mean that he's hiding something. So he doesn't necessarily have to be a warlock or a witch. He doesn't necessarily have to be a witch. He can just be um he could just come from a family of marked men that are marked by patriarchy, and he automatically has those spirits attached to him and in him that is going to kick you down as a woman. And so you wonder why when he walks into your life, stuff starts getting funny, and it's because of those spirits that he has with him. So he don't even have to do nothing. He don't have to light no candle. Then you have to watch out for the ones that are lighting candles, them not being regulated properly or guided properly, and they could be under possession, or either the power of the craft has corrupted them. So I used to think, well, I'd rather be in a relationship with a male witch. But in reality, some of the stuff that they're doing out there is going to bring a bunch of demons that you don't know, unfamiliar spirits that don't serve you. They're going to bring that into your house. So, and of course, when you hit the age of 30 or 40, they're trying to treat you like an old maid, which is absolutely disgusting. I can promise you, women, and this is a fact, that all men, even the dusty ones, even the ones that don't have no money or brains, they are trying to put women on a codependent energy. They are trying to get you in a codependent energy because they are competing with you and they want you underneath them. And most women, okay, your mamas, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, Well, not your brothers because they're not women, but what they will do is they will go under that possession, deep in that possession, instead of instilling or either having a man in their life that has proper training, that is not, marked like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I looked at the world a few years ago and I looked at religion and I said 9 times out of 10, I'm going to die alone. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. If I can break that cycle to my family, I will sacrifice for my family. Because you know what? When you look around, especially at men my age, and I love men my age, I love men my age or older. It's just something about them that's very attractive, but they're broken. And they're broken by that religion. And it's very difficult for them to come out of that religious programming and to unmark themselves. That's really what an uncrossing is. People think that an uncrossing is just an unhexing. Yeah, well, your religion itself curses you, but they're possessed because all they focus on is this religion, this God gives me dominion. But what the hell good is it you having dominion when everybody around you is miserable? Nobody actually likes you, and they're just sitting around waiting on you to die so they can get your life insurance. What good is that when you're sick, when you're mentally sick, and you can't even connect with the woman? You feel disconnected because they are disconnected. So it's first of all, it's nothing wrong, and this is what I can't stand. And don't ever trust a woman that comes out and says, "Oh, you're alone. You're alone." Yeah, and I like it. Thank you. I like my peace. Thank you. I'd rather be alone. Thank you. Thank you. Are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. Actually, they're not because that man that they got is making them miserable. Okay. Yeah, I do believe that there are people out there in relationships that they are just in just this eternal bliss with one another, and nobody has to be hurt, you know. Nobody has to be sacrificed. Nobody has to die for these people to be together. Yes, those are those couples out there. But in reality, a lot of them that are marked, severely marked by that religion, they're messed up. Okay. For example, if you live with your man and a bad spirit comes into your house, you know, and he doesn't have the knowledge and the wisdom of the witch because he's stuck in thinking, well, it's supposed to be hell on earth and we're going to die soon because, then that spirit is going to keep coming back, is going to keep coming back, is going to keep coming back. So you're going to always have that spirit in your house. So what I'm saying is wait, especially listen, you don't need to change if you are a witch. You're not crazy, you're just aware. You don't need to change. They need to change. They need to open their eyes is what they need to do. But they don't want to do it. They want to roam around here like zombies, cursed and possessed. And they want to think, oh, well, I can do that because Jesus forgives me. And see, this is one of the things that it's totally ridiculous. So women, don't feel pressured to get in these relationships, and then and you find yourself, you feel like you've wasted all of your time, and then when you even look back at these moments that you had with this person, which was supposed to be the reason why you were even in the relationship, and you realize that those moments weren't even worth it either. You realize that you just wasted your time. And, that we can speculate a lot as to why that's happening on a wide scale especially when it comes to Generation X and all the generations that fell up underneath the baby boomers. So that is the key to looking at that, because a lot of the baby boomers are saying, "Oh, you kids, y'all don't know how to do life. Oh, look, I've been with my husband for 30 years. Well, why are you so worried about what's going on between my legs then if you've been with your husband for 30 or 40 years?" So then it's that. So then that, you know. So don't feel pressured, and don't feel pressured by society, because society will put pressure on you to be in a relationship, and it's almost like a group rape or something, like a it's like rape. Like, why are you so worried about? Oh, and do you have children? Why are you worried about my uterus? What's wrong with people? Sick. It's disgusting. A lot of people on this earth are sick in that sense. They are. They sit around, they gossip, they look at a bunch of porn. They're totally disconnected from their own sexual energy. They're blocked, they're messed up. They look into others instead of being able to look at themselves. Don't be pressured to be in. You find the one that's perfect for you and you ask the universe to bring that to you. I don't care if you're 35, 45, 55, 65, 75. I don't care if you 85 years old. Because really, to be honest with you, the demon that is attached to a lot of these men, oh, it goes into overdrive to feed off of you as soon as you hit 40. Oh, that's when the feeding frenzy begins. Somewhere between the ages of 35 and 40, and that's because you are ripening. And then the next thing you know, they tell you, well, you just gonna get old and die from here. And I'm not going to talk about my beliefs in that, of whether or not that's the truth. But, I can tell you that, we're living in a world where a lot of people are spiritually sick. They sleep, they possessed, and all you know is how to survive. Survival mode starts to kick in when you realize what's happening. And it doesn't have to be hard. They want to make it harder on you. They want to stress you out. Okay. And some of them will be the exact opposite of the male that you want, that you would ever even be in the same room with. And they got a lot of nerve to where they will be the complete opposite of what you want and then still pretend as if they are an eligible bachelor. And they have a real problem with women that are at peace with being by herself, with sitting with herself. They have a real problem with women like us. And when they see that, what do? They automatically go into a predatory mode. And men are not supposed to be predatory. They're comparing themselves with wolves and animals. In reality, in this incarnation, even if you was a wolf in a past life, I got a couple of videos up on this channel where I am talking about that. I know for a fact that in a couple of my past lives I was a wolf, but in this life I am a woman. I am a human female. So what does that mean? That means that you are a higher being than what would be considered an animal that's out hunting in the forest. It may happen in a spiritual sense to where, as a witch, I can go right across the street in the middle of the night in the pale moonlight, in the full moon, and go walk through the forest, and all the animals will probably be afraid of me. But that's for spiritual reasons. That is because I've spent years and years developing myself spiritually. Otherwise, I am not an animal. I don't hunt and prey upon people. And for some reason, they think, oh, this is where I'm at my most powerful. And guess what? That's why we got bombs going off and people going crazy and being blown up. And it's just a bunch of crap. And it is because they have been allowed. And I'm going to tell you something, every single time I see anything wrong that goes on in this world and any injustices, I look to the men because they claim that they are the ones that are in control. Well, then do something about it. And then they'll sit up there when you're looking at women and children crying out for help, saying, please help me. Please, I'm suffering. They're laughing. They've got a Joker grin on their face. So that automatically makes me look to the men and say, why is this happening? You are the man. You claimed that you were the protector. What did you do? Trick us? That's why I tell y'all women, don't give a man dominion over you. Even if he takes care of you, even if he pays every bills in the house, and even if he puts every morsel of food in your mouth, you still have that man under your control and dominance, because at any moment he can decide, I'm dropping the ball because I'm not feeling well. And I just decided to turn myself into a complete jackass, a jack in the box. And then the next thing you know, you going through months and months of damn hell with this crazy man. And then you sit back and you wonder, what the hell was it all for? And then you got to go through months and months of reclaiming the power that he didn't even know how to use. Because let's face it, he's a man. He don't know how to use your power. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to appease that stupid primitive male spirit. What I'm going to do is banish it. And none of them are paying attention. None of them want to listen to the alchemists that are saying this. None of them want to listen. And then a lot of the women out here, peep game about this, the women that have found a man that they can feel comfortable with, they are not telling you the truth as far as what is actually out there. So this is the reason why a video is going up every day on true crime TV or real crime or viral crimes of these psychotic men killing these women because they feel that in order to control her, if he can't control her, he want to kill her. And this is the spirit that we're dealing with. And whether or not he murders you physically, he's still, some of them are going to kill you softly. It'll be a slow kill, or it'll be either the kill is going to be going 25 miles an hour, or it's going to be going 60 miles an hour. That's why every woman, especially if you've been wronged, done wrong by a man, you should be focused on Lilith and what she's saying, and that's taking your power back, taking your magic back that he took and misused and perverted. Okay. So don't feel pressured, during these times right now. Have you looked around? Have you taken a good look at at the behaviors, not just vloggers, men in social media, not just them, at what's happening out here on these streets? Have you looked around? You better pay attention. Okay. And yes, women should be fighting their men over them cheating. They shouldn't want a man to cheat, because guess what? He can go out there, he can cheat, and he can bring you back all kind of diseases. So it's dangerous for a man. A man that sits around talking about sleeping with a bunch of women, to me, he is a danger. But it can also come in the form of emotional cheating. A man that sits around talking to other women sexually is still a danger. The ones that are out there sleeping around, they need to be thrown in the lake of fire. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, baby. The ones that are out there sleeping around, dipping and dabbing, and God only knows what, they need to be dropped off, and they need to be cleansed with fire. The ones that kind of, they just kind of spread they energy around like butter, and they just like, yeah, I'm a pimp, I'm a player, how you doing, baby, what's up, Johnny on the spot, all that bullshit. You got to watch them too. But the ones especially that are out here, slanging dick, them are the ones where I'm looking at them like, you better get up out of my face, because I don't want whatever you got anywhere near me. And see, that is why, and this may be triggering, yes, sis, yes, that is why rape is so repulsive. Because people talk about rape and they say, when somebody got raped, and we're not really focusing on the statistics of rape. In fact, we're trying to make rape a norm. We're trying to create a rape culture. Not we, they are. They're trying to create it. But do you know how many people have gotten raped and gotten diseases, or either spiritual entities inside of them that cause them to get sick, die, unalive themselves? Um, HIV, AIDS, herpes, cancer. Did y'all know that cancer is sexually transmitted? Y'all know that there's a cancer that's sexually transmitted by touch. And but all you're supposed to care about is being validated by this man. So for me, when I detect that, when I smell it, because a man not showering doesn't mean that he has a disease. But if I can smell a man from a mile away, and I smell what smells like some kind of infection, oh, not only are you not going to bring that penis anywhere near me, but I may have to curse you. And then, women that, do you know that there has been more, how many women are locked up in prison because they had a man try to physically rape them, and they was probably out on a date with them, and the man tried to take their body, and the women unalive them, and these women end up in prison because the system is telling them that, oh, it's just rape, you just took her body and put her whole life at risk. You didn't have the right to unalive that man, you murdered that man, you murdered that man. He tried to force himself on me. And so that's why a lot of people, they're secretly you have to video record your interactions with these people. It's crazy. And they want you to choose that madness and that risk instead of just having a bowl of popcorn. And I'd rather have a bowl of popcorn and some chocolate bonbons and a good movie. Listen, okay, whatever it is that's my spiritual path in this life. Oh, see, see, yes, I agree, sister. It causes problems and is to miss out irreparably. Yes, when they con us into loving them without and intentions of being a real man. Exactly, because women know what they want. And women don't want no man running around here. Oh yeah, baby. And look, my woman, yeah, I'm flirting with you, and my woman is sitting right here. Yeah, and it's like I'm absolutely repulsed by you. You are physically, emotionally, and psychologically, I am repulsed by men like that. Or are you kidding me, Jasmine? Wow. And see, that is where we're having injustices in the system. But you know what? I can imagine that if she would have recorded it, wow, wow. Yeah, they definitely are rape apologists. And but I've actually seen cases of usually it's the man overpowering the woman, and that's why you see so many women that end up deceased, unalived, because that's why I don't go out on dates. Are you dating? No. Are you single? Yeah. Are you celibate? Yes. Okay. No, no, yes, yes. Okay. Because what these women will do is they'll go out on these dates and you'll never see them again. And he'll get you alone. And every once in a while, we're catching this on camera. That I saw a story about it just last week. A woman went out on a date with a man. He drug her into the car, and she ended up they found her unalived. They are, they really, really are, and they're being allowed to run amok and do whatever they want, and that's why we have the divine feminine, especially Lilith. And I've been Jasmine, we got to do a show, girl. We got to do a show tonight. Oh my God, I miss you. And I know you've been busy, but I miss you. We need to. I'm curious as to, I want to talk about the goddess. I want to talk about the Morgan. I want to talk about Lilith in a sense of protection from this because, that, oh my God, the reality of what we're living in, and there seems to not be any justice. And so we're talking about the worst case scenario, but what about the little insignificant things that I have experienced from men for years? And it's not me, it's them. Okay, it's them. They have a habit of slandering, they commit slander, fraud, you know, and they're constantly conjuring up these spirits. That's why last night I smudged this whole house and I got salt in every window. And while I was doing that, I noticed, why are these windows not closed? Like, what's going on with this? You know what I'm saying? It's a and so I have a male landlord who, I'm a woman. And it's like, well, why didn't you fix this stuff? You know what I'm saying? So it's really so, but we gotta talk. Yes, text me, sis. Text me because I would love to talk about that because I feel so strong about protecting especially women and children from this because it is so horrific. And they have like a code with each other to where, they think, oh, it's another man. Okay, well, I'll do right by you. But when it's a woman, it goes all out the door. Like, oh, I can just treat you any kind of way. I'll do whatever I want to do with you. Why? Well, my Bible told me so. And then also, I'm sexist and a misogynist. Yeah, message me on Instagram. And I'm down tonight. I am. I'm down. You know, yes, ma'am. And you know what? If a woman questions it, they will. It'll be a full-fledged agenda against you. You know what I do, Jasmine? You know what I do? I'm telling my mama right now. Okay, that's what I will go to Lilith in a heartbeat in a New York minute because they just, they it just they do very unjust things. You know, they do very unjust things. You know what I mean? And so, and so for me, if a man comes to me and says, well, no man wants you, and why are you alone, and you're broke and you're powerless, and you know, why should I want most of these men that are on this planet? Let's face it, really, I'd rather be by myself. And you can tell that that spirit is moved through. It has, that spirit is moved through, and they just don't want to let you live, is what I've noticed, you know? And so that's why you'll see a lot of homes of women, they threw the man out. And that's why at Christmas, you're going to see, um, women at home with their children trying to make the best of it, and a lot of these men, like, I couldn't imagine spending my holidays with this person that I just recently cut ties with, because I'm already knowing, because I'm way too empathic, feeling that negative energy from him and him holding on to it and trying to get him to release it and let it go, and just living under this roof with this completely miserable person who really doesn't like me or himself. I'd rather have joy and peace in my home and solace. Okay, Jasmine, I look forward to it. Yeah, I gotta go. I have someone is summoning me anyway, so I have to go. So, a lot of y'all need to realize what is happening, and don't set yourself up. Don't set yourself up for that. Even if, let me give y'all a quick breakdown of this. Even if you had the most powerful magi that said, oh, I want to break up this couple, that man is supposed to be strong enough to recognize it. And if he's not, and if he's still saying, "Oh, I'm a good old boy," that I ain't supposed to look at that, then he's not the man for you. So I don't care if it's a witch doing work to break y'all up, or if it's a witch, because it's always they ex or something like that. That man is supposed to have it together. And if he doesn't have it together, he is a failure, in my opinion, because listen, you are the first line of defense. And so just because somebody lit a doom candle, all of a sudden you're going to turn into this monster that I feel the need to throw up out of my house. No, I'm not going for it. You better step it up. He better be the first one coming to you saying, babe, I had this weird thought today, and I think somebody trying to do work on me. That's the man that I want to be with. Hey, Tiffy, baby. That's the man that I want to be with. A man that says, babe, I felt a spirit come through. And you know what? I fought it off. And I went and took a I went and I pooped and I took a shower. And you know what? I love you. But I feel somebody is trying to tear us down. That's the man I want. I don't want no man running around here a zombie or a puppet. Every 5 minutes he flipping out, going up and down, possessed. No, thank you. Okay. And see, I may be speaking to the witches right now. Because but I'm also speaking to regular women out there that they've never even heard it. They never even thought about witchcraft or witches or really even know what being a witch is about, which a lot of people think that witchcraft is all about cursing somebody, but it's incredibly healing, I got to tell you. And the agenda to destroy witches was an agenda to destroy this earth, in my opinion, and to destroy the people on this earth. But that's something deep that I don't have time to get into. All right, guys, I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. You are enough for you, is what I want to say to you. Okay. That relationship with that man is merely an option, and there's a whole world out there for you. And no man has the right to tell you, well, you're not going to financially prosper without me, or you going to do bad without me. Hey, well, don't say High Priestess Jamila because he'll probably look me up, but just you contact High Priestess Jamila. Okay. Cause I can't stand that, because then all of a sudden the relationship, all the romance and what's real. Okay, even though a lot of I was seeing that people were saying that romance is not what a lot of women want. Okay, that's fine. But let's say the love goes out the door and then it turns into a terrorist attack and MK Ultra, uh, uh, you know, um, some kind of Holocaust Nazism, something that you don't want in your life. Okay. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Blessings. Bye bye.